This morning we're in Hiroshima, Japan, and we're going to visit the Peace Memorial Park and Museum. Pretty much where we're standing is where the atomic bomb went off on the 6th of August 1945. This is going to be a pretty heavy day. That was an incredibly moving experience. Really well put together museum. It's actually, we only saw a small portion of the museum because they're doing some construction. So I would love to one day come back and see the full museum, because even that little portion was so well put together. It had great history of this particular bomb, of nuclear weaponry and nuclear war in general. Just very well put together. Very well signed in English, which for us is necessary because we don't speak Japanese. I saw people doing audio guides as well, so I imagine there was other languages available.
It was just really fascinating, and it had survivor stories. It had a collection of artefacts that had been preserved from back in, when the bomb went off. It was just all incredibly curated, and it was so sobering and harrowing, like reading and hearing about those stories. One thing that really stuck with me was a lot of people described Hiroshima just looking like hell after the bomb went off. Just black, red, brown colours, everything flattened and decimated, people running around screaming in terror, dead bodies everywhere. Like, you just can't fathom
the destruction
how
right
scary
here
it would
where
have
we're
been.
sitting. In the initial blast, and then in the coming weeks, about 140,000 people perished. Just unbelievable numbers, and just shows you, not that we didn't know this already, but shows you how terrible nuclear warfare is. Harrowing.
Just scary stuff too, like at the epicenter, or what do they call it? The
Hypercenter.
The hypercenter, so where the bomb went off, it was 4,000 degrees Celsius, so people were just incinerated.
And the city was pretty much all wooden buildings, so it just went up, and huge fire, which was many more deaths. But we won't go into all the facts, but if you are in this area, this is definitely the place to visit, because you'll learn a lot, and it's very sobering. And
I reckon if you're in Japan, you should definitely make the trip to Hiroshima.
You should come. And now we're going to explore the Peace Park, which is a huge park right in the middle of Hiroshima, where the bomb went off. And now it is a beautiful peace park with memorials.
This is the flame of peace, which symbolises the desire for a world free of nuclear weapons, and it will burn until the last nuclear weapon on Earth has been destroyed. This is the Children's Peace Monument, and on the top is a symbol of Sadako Sasaki, who's become the symbol of all the children who were affected by the atomic bomb. So Sadako was 2 when the bomb went off, and then 10 years later she developed leukemia. which ultimately ended her life. But the story was that when she was in hospital, she heard about the Japanese legend where if you folded 1,000 paper cranes, then you would get a wish granted. And so she started folding and folding and folding these paper cranes, and she got to like over 1,300, but then ultimately died because of leukemia. And so there's a paper crane on top of her which she's holding, and then just because her story has been memorialized in books and what have you, people send thousands and thousands and thousands of paper cranes from all over the world now to the museum, and they're all put around the monument. And they also take the cranes and then they turn them into I saw like some paper clay being sold in the museum shop, and we got postcards made out of the paper cranes. It's amazing. It's really beautiful.
This is the Hiroshima Exhibition Hall, now known as the A-bomb dome. So the bomb itself went off about 160 meters that way and 600 meters up. So because this building was so close, the blast almost came down on it and it didn't fall down. And there was a lot of debate about to keep it or to demolish it. A lot of people saw it as, you know, suffering and memories of the past, but eventually the debate for keeping it won, which I think is beautiful because it's now here as a memorial. It's a World Heritage Site, and the fact the dome survived is pretty incredible, and it's now a real symbol of Hiroshima and what happened here, the atrocity of what went on in this very spot. You can now see with your own eyes, and I think that's a beautiful way for it to be shown, because it does make you really think when you see it for real. It's not a photo, it's not a story, it's true, and it's horrible, but it's really nice that it's there. Great memorial. Sheena's doing some research for some lunch because it's about time to eat, and stuff like this is pretty full on, so it'd be nice to sit down over a meal. But just some takeaways from me of this whole place. I think it's so well done because it makes you think about war beyond the atomic bombs. I mean, the two bombs essentially ended World War II, but World War II was gonna end probably with the invasion of Japan if the bombs hadn't been dropped, and estimates for that are about 4 million deaths on the Japanese side, 1.5 to 2 million on the Allied side. Just so no matter what, like, war is just, it's horrible. It's so unnecessary. And we've learned lots today. We've learned lots of facts about why this was a target, and you know, things like there's hills just over there, and the hills would have reflected the blast back. All those little facts are very interesting, but that's definitely not my takeaway. My takeaway is that just war is horrible. So much death, so much destruction, and places like this need to be here to make sure we remember and don't let this stuff happen again.
We were just walking to lunch and we encountered a no nukes demonstration, and I got given a paper crane. Lunchtime at Chikara. They serve udon and soba. I'm ready for lunch. So you pay downstairs and then you take your little chip which has your order to your table. It's really cool. I ordered a curry udon. Look at my curry udon. It is so thick. It comes with really thinly sliced beef and spring onions. The udon is just coated in the gravy. Udon's a wheat noodle. They're sort of quite thick and slimy. They remind me of worms. Not that I eat worms regularly, but they don't taste like worms. They're very, very tasty. Mine, in comparison to Thomas's, looks so unhealthy. It's a really mellow curry flavour. Slightly sweet, just really not spicy at all. Very easy. The noodles look amazing. Ooh, hot. Quite soft. This is comfort food. It's really good.
As Sheena said, mine looks super healthy compared to hers. I went with wakame or seaweed, so it's got the thick worm-like udon noodles, lots of wakame piled on top, and a really clear, clean-looking broth. I'm just going to try the broth. That is great. Like that salty sort of sea-like flavour from the seaweed, but just super clean and easygoing. It's also piled up with spring onions, and it's just got that little sweetness from those. There's also one tiny little fish cake. I'm gonna save that for later, but I'm gonna try some of these thick noodles. I love udon noodles. When I was a kid, I remember my mum cooking what we would have just called a stir fry then. I wouldn't have known it was Japanese. I wouldn't have known the word udon was Japanese, but I remember it had udon noodles in it from a packet. Just really simple. She chucked them in instead of rice. We often had rice, and my mind was blown as to what these insane noodles were. So I'm really happy and excited to have them in Japan. It's such a simple flavour. They're a great texture. They've got a little bit of bite, but they're pretty soft, thick, just so simple. They're so satisfying as a lunch. Wow, I love Japan.
I just discovered the aprons. A really good idea for me because I can make a mess. And this is curry.
You're wearing white.
And I'm wearing white. That was brilliant.
So enjoyable.
It was just simple. So I ordered the curry udon. Thomas ordered the wakame udon in a large size.
I think I forgot to say it was a miso base to the broth too.
And both of those meals cost about 500 or 600 yen. So that's
about $13 all up. So $6.50 each for a huge bowl. And super satisfying. Another bargain in Japan.
Can't beat it!
Can't beat it. It's been a pretty full-on day with all the Peace Park Memorial and all the information we've taken in. So we're going to wrap this one up. We also have quite a bit of work to do. So we're going to maybe grab a couple of beers because I feel like we need a drink, head home, do some work, and finish this one up early today.
We'll see you next time. Thank you so much for watching. We hope we've inspired you to eat and explore like a traveller, not a tourist. Sayonara! I forgot to say, if you guys have any tips on what we should be eating in Japan and where we should be eating in Japan, we're heading to Osaka, Kyoto and Kobe next. Please let us know in the comments below. We would love to know your favourites.